John must be up there now, because Paul and them up there.
Yes.
Paul and them up there, so John must up there too.
Didn't you do a show for their foundation, for the school in
Yeah, with Air Supply, yeah.
Sometime last year, yeah.
Let me get the pan. So
And then we do another thing in New York.
Okay, yeah. Stephen Haldane Coore.
Here, Haldane. No, the pan. Where's the pan? Yeah, the name is Haldane. Here's the news, read by Stephen Haldane Coore. My dear friend Steve Thorpe messed up the first question. All right, how you doing, Steve? So nice to see you, bro. Oh my gosh. What a joy.
Lead guitarist and founding member of Third World.
That's
Half
true.
a century
This
ago.
is true. This is true.
Reggae ambassador.
I hope.
Uptown rebel.
Haven't been fired yet.
Also known as Johnny Tiger.
Yes. And Roy.
Android.
Yeah.
Occasionally answering to Cat.
Yeah.
Cricket fanatic.
Absolutely.
Lifetime member of Kingston Cricket Club.
Absolutely.
Indeed, one time doyen of the Dog Pen.
Yes, yeah. One of the kingpins.
One of the kingpins.
Until the pins started to fall.
Oh, there are any more.
Yeah.
And, lest we forget, probably the only reggae musician in history to have featured in Wisdom and performed at Lord's Cricket Ground.
And played the cello for Garfield Sobers in 2007.
Wonderful, wonderful.
With my friend AJ Brown singing.
Yes.
Fantastic, yeah.
More significantly, Cat, the Jamaica government has now bestowed upon your good self the Order of Distinction 2 or 3 years back for exemplary contribution to the growth of the nation. Very well done, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And welcome back to London, and you as well, AJ.
Yes, sir. It's good to be here. Good to be here.
Anyway, it seems like you've never been away. What have you been doing for a week or so? I mean, it's 11 days since you played Glastonbury.
Right.
About that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, fortunately life is funny because years and years and years I kept saying, how come we're not going back to England, you know, what's going on here? Because, England is really our starting, you know, it's like one of the first wickets we ever played on, you know, as you know.
Right.
We came up through, the Jamaican, we were playing on the North Coast, we were doing like the hotel gigs and all of that, you know?
And in Kingston as well.
Right, but we always had in our mind a vision of being, you know, a big worldwide band, you know, a reggae rock kind of thing, and we didn't realize that what we were thinking wasn't that far-fetched, right? and we, our first break was ready to come to England, and you know, it's absolutely extraordinary that we're in Camden Town, because that's where I lived when we came up. That's where the whole band lived. Right, but Dingwalls is right here, you know. And that's where we used to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, England has always had a special thing for us because our first hit song, Now That We Found Love, right here. It broke right here in London.
Exactly.
And aside from that, the first album, the Green Album, was very popular here. 96 Degrees is, no need to mention that. And we had another hit record with Cool Meditation.
Of course, yeah.
And then when we signed to CBS, we had another hit record called Dancing on the Floor. So England has been a real great place for us and stuff. And it just seemed strange to me that we weren't, you know, that those gigs that we usually do, we weren't getting them anymore and stuff. So now that we did the Jazz Cafe, we did Glastonbury, they were back at the Jazz Cafe now, and we're going to Brighton, and we're going to Telford. It's very encouraging and pleasing to me because I've wanted my UK fan base to hear us and to, you know, and
it's
to...
been a long time.
Right, man, and to get back,
yeah,
man, and to get back with them is very special to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I'm sure everybody is very thankful as well.
Of course.
Just to rewind just a little bit to that time, just clarify, Kat, because you signed to Ireland with Blackwell in '75. His debut album was the following year. In December of that year, '76, was when Marley was shot
Right.
Oak Road. Then there was the Smile Jamaica concert
Right.
in December that year. You actually played bass for the Wailers for part of that.
Yeah,
show,
for
didn't
2
you?
tunes, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Family
get
Man didn't
I get
turn
big up for it more than I should.
Yeah,
But the pan is right here.
Family Man didn't show up or something. He was a bit disturbed that there may be other
Yeah.
gunmen in action.
Yeah, he was. And actually what happened was that I knew 1 or 2 songs and stuff, but Tyrone came, and Tyrone knew all the songs on bass. So when he arrived, I just took off the bass and gave him, and I took up a guitar. And I've never really forgotten that. I was numb, to be quite honest. I had no clue where I was or what I was doing. But I mean, the whole image of Bob coming and just the way he was just absolutely gigantic.
Yes.
That Sunday,
Yes.
I mean, you know.
I've seen the footage of it.
Yeah, here he was, just assassination in his life and stuff. And nobody thought he was coming.
Yeah, and he came back.
And he
out
showed up.
fighting.
Yeah, he showed up, and you know, I really can't forget. I mean, you know, after that he went and he stayed in London, and you know, this is a time when we came back to London to record 96 Degrees in the Shade.
Yeah.
And we were at Basing Street, you know, and we shared studio time. We would go in from 10 to 6, Bob would come in from 7 to whenever. Or we would come in at 7 to whenever, Bob would come in from 10 to 6. We had alternating days and this and that and the other. And that's how I became really close to Bob, because I would try to get there early, you know, so I could get in and, you know, be with him and make our relationship grow more. Because we knew each other a long time, but not, you know, but I wanted to be more close to Uncle, you know. And it, some of the times, as you know, when you're doing these albums and stuff, sometimes Bob never even came because what was happening was mixing, or they were doing overdubs or something. It wasn't necessary for him to come, but he would always show up if it was even for an hour, because he wanted to hear what was happening. You know, these were the days when you could just say, "Hey Bob, I'm sending you something on the phone. Listen to it. We just did an overdub. What do you think of this?" You know what I mean? You had to physically come down to Basing Street and hear what was going on. So, I mean, that in and of itself lent to more camaraderie between us, because we had to be there. We couldn't stay, you know, on our phones like some assholes in some little cubby hole and say, "Hey Steve, I don't like that." Hey, you had to physically go.
Yeah, physically go.
Right, and then, you know, and then when you go there now, all the other musicians who are working and stuff, that's how I met Chris Wood, that's how I met Steve Winwood, Jim Capaldi, you know, Paul Rogers from Bad Company. That's how I met all those guys, you know what I mean? And that was a big thing for me. It was for me the coming of a star, really. I mean, to put it in the most common terms.
Really, that was the genesis of you.
Yeah.
An international touring band.
Exactly. I really felt, and everybody in Third World felt that way. Because the thing was that there was no one icon in the band. The band was iconic. There was Cat Ibu, there was Ruggs, there was Willie, there was Carrot, there was Basie. You know what I mean? So everybody had a personality, everybody had a piece of the pie, so to speak, and that also helped to create, you know, this kind of feeling amongst us that we were someone. We were an entity. We were like Earth, Wind and Fire or something. There was no one big person out in front and so on. I'm not putting that down, but I'm just saying that we were a band, the Doobie Brothers.
It gave you some direction and something to...
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think that the band's mind was really open, because we had done all this stuff in Moby, and Moby was a big place for us, you know? Because we were allowed to go to the hotels and play, and that kind of exposed us to foreign people and stuff like that. And we, for young guys our age, we were good, you know? we were decent players, and the hotels liked us, and you know, we went from strength to strength. And so by the time Evan managed us, we were already a unit that was ready for, you know, ready to go. And we went to play in the West End in London. Gillies was the club, and Chris Blackwell saw us there, and and he told us to come and meet him at Island the following Tuesday. This was a Saturday night. Mm-hmm. The Tuesday we went there, and that started a relationship, a friendship, and you know, just 4 weeks later we signed a contract.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And then of course you went to support to Bob on the European tour.
Yes.
And you opened for him at the Lyceum, which was
fantastic. And Birmingham too, and Manchester too.
Yes.
Yeah, man. That was, in fact, to be honest with you, the Manchester, Birmingham, London shows were really what we did. But when to Europe, he had somebody else open for him. I think it was Aswad.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did the UK side of things, which was a big thing in those days, you know. So, I mean, the 2 dates at the Lyceum alone has lived with us and has propelled us. I mean, like, most people that want to do articles, want to do interviews, they want to know about that gig.
Always refer to that gig.
They want to know about that gig, always. And you have the epic live album with No Woman to Cry and Roadblock and all those tunes, you know. Yeah. So we cherish that as one of our moments for sure. And and I remember going home that Christmas, because after we did the Lyceum, we went and recorded the Green Album. You know, we didn't have the album then, but we did have Sata.
Yes.
And we had a couple of the tunes that we did on the album. So when we went in Christmas and we did that, you know, and I remember coming home that Christmas, and boy, when I arrived back, all my friends just saw me different. You know, because I'd heard I'm in England now, we have an album coming out on Island Records, and Third World's big star now, and this and that, you know. So, I mean, it was hard for me to adjust.
Of course, yeah.
But it was something very, very, I didn't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? It was special.
So those are the things that, of course, strike the chord now whenever you come back here to London.
Yes, it does. It strikes a big chord.
Yeah.
Hammersmith and Basing Street studios, and you know, and I'm performing up at the Narike up in NW1, and yeah.
We talked earlier on about Glastonbury, and you were only there 11 days ago, and that was your second appearance there in 40 years, so 10 years after we were just talking about here.
Right.
You played Glastonbury. That must have been a totally different experience as to what it is now.
Yeah, well, truthfully speaking, a lot of things remain the same, because Glastonbury is a tradition, and it's like one of the 3 biggest festivals in the world. And when I played, when you know 40 years ago, whatever, for me it was just another big festival and all of that. But after the years went on, and I realized that I kept seeing Glastonbury, I kept saying, why am I not back at Glastonbury, you know? But it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and I kind of felt a little left out. Because really, I'm being honest, you know? I felt like, screw this shit.
What happened? Where are they? You know?
Yeah, man, I'm like, what the backside is going on?
He's going to be warming up in a minute.
Yeah, he's coming up to the plate soon. So, I mean, Glastonbury was special for Steve this year. And we recognized that we kind of had the upper hand, because the band is playing so well, and we just seem to have a tailor-made set, and you know, and we have some serious weaponry. We have AJ, you know, doing not just singing the Third World things, but actually showing the prowess that he has as a singer.
Correct, yeah, and range. And I have to say this, AJ, we did talk about it earlier briefly, and saying that whole thing went viral.
Yeah.
Wow. Partiro. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, and you know, as I pointed out to you, AJ has been doing that since 2007.
Yeah, since the World Cup launch.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that because I wasn't at the World Cup launch and I never saw the footage of that day.
Actually, it was way before that.
It was before that, you know, but for me seeing
it
AJ
was me and him who
was at the
performed
World Cup, but even before that, he was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's. I'm going to give you a chance.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Continue, sir.
Yeah.
Give him the pound.
So all right. So for all the good people,
Could you explain?
for all the good people that are watching and watching this interview, this is what we call the pan, right? Now, if we're a team, and if you screw up and you talk any crap, or if you make a big mistake on stage, or if you're rude to somebody unnecessarily, you have to feed the pan. Look in the pan.
The thing is that Cat's been feeding this for 4 hours.
So yeah, so
Only just him.
But the beauty about the pan is at the end of the whole thing.
at the end of the whole thing, we share the pan up at dinner. We take everybody to dinner
That's sounding
and
good.
pour the pan out.
It's sounding good.
That's a tour thing. That's a tour thing we do.
No, but I mean, I
it
lost my train of thought, but that's a pan too. So get back to getting back to you.
Handing back to you.
We're at Glastonbury,
Yeah,
and we're now going to move on from Glastonbury.
yeah. Glastonbury is epic for me, you know. Yeah.
It is for everybody, I
Management,
think,
what's the problem?
Just checking out your.
No, don't check on me now. I'm in the middle of an interview.
But, just to get back to the current tour, and from there, from Glastonbury, you arrived there overnight from a similar grand event in Milwaukee.
Right.
You came here after Glastonbury, did the Jazz Cafe, then went straight into some pretty shocking social events in Paris last week.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, that's
Before
true.
then moving on to Germany and Belgium.
Yeah.
Since then, you went to the Virgin Islands for a one-off show, and then
Okay.
you're back here again. And then you have a whole string of other dates across the US. By any measure, this is quite a punishing schedule. I'm sort of slightly tired looking at the itinerary. How do you boys do it? Tony, how do you do it? You're a hammering man as well there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the hammerhead shot.
Well, you know,
But you get used to it, I suppose. You're on the road, but it's still...
I train for this, man. I live for this moment.
We are athletes. We're athletes.
Yes.
Yeah, we regard ourselves.
You have to
as
be a
athletes.
warrior, yeah.
Bad shot story.
So, yeah.
So
But we
you
enjoy what we do, so we don't feel the pain until it's over.
Until it's painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you actually train then, Tony, on tour? Do you
Yes, I
train
do.
for
Actually, this morning I went to the gym, you know.
Okay.
That's what keeps me going, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You think what you're doing is enough?
Yeah, well, it's enough, but, you know, I have to do some more too.
Yeah.
That's my peace of mind also, you know. And I'm trying to not get tour fat.
Well, none of you are fat.
You're doing a good job, Tony.
You have to work it out, Benji.
Yeah.
I've heard of a tour pass, I've heard of a tour schedule, but I've never heard of a tour fat.
Yeah.
So-
That's a good one.
You can pick it up on the road easily.
While you're on the road, do you do much songwriting, or is that just another thing, or it may just come to you when and where? I mean, AJ, you've got an
Well-
album being released.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to make both of AJ and myself answer this. But just to kick it off, for me, writing is about when something comes to you, you try your best to put it down. You might, in this day and age, it's a lot more accessible because, like, I just put an idea down for a festival song. I did it on my phone. I was in the middle of an airport, and it's like, flight 20-something is leaving out there, you know. And I was still able to sing the idea in. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's my experience. So, Jay can talk about how he sees it. But
Well, that's the thing about technology these days. You can use it to your advantage, and that's what I do when we're on tour. I have a voice memo on my phone, and I just sing whatever creative ideas come out, or ideas for a bass line or lyrics or whatever. So, yes, we do write on while we're on tour, but for me, I'm more focused on the job at hand, which is
performing.
making sure so
Retaining
we
the voice
perform,
and your
'cause,
range and strength.
yeah, well, I regard myself and the rest of us as athletes, where we know what we need to go and do, and we discipline ourselves to execute it properly. And right now we feel like we're at the top of our game. I believe so, based off of just how we perform on stage, because it's all about immediate gratification, and when you can let a crowd respond like within seconds is a feat.
Yes.
And it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
No.
And it's a disaggregated crowd.
Yeah.
It's not a Jamaican crowd. This is an
I'm telling you.
international.
Yeah.
Glastonbury is an English crowd, effectively.
But if you screw up, though, you know, how is that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what I was kind of apprehensive about when we went to Glastonbury, based off of our the journey that we had to take to get
Just
there.
to get there and get in.
Yes.
I know, I was looking at the itinerary just thinking, whoa, this is tiring.
Yeah, man,
I'm just
when I
thinking
was-
about what you were doing.
Trust me, man.
And then when you came on stage, I thought, wow, the boys have made it.
Yeah.
Something else. Yeah, that was something else.
When we were done, man, it was a sigh of relief for me. Man.
Yeah. It's always a sigh of relief for those.
Yeah.
For real.
Is it correct to say that this is the first tour which is featuring just yourself as one of the founder members? Because Richie, of course, has done his knee in.
Yeah, Richard did his knee in and stuff, and yeah, it's featuring me as one of the four members. But I like to think that because of the history of the band and because of what the members meant to the whole Third World brand through the years, and I'd like to feel all of them are here with me.
Of course, yeah.
Without a doubt.
I feel
Yes,
Bonnie
yes,
every night, I feel Carrot every night,
Yeah.
Ibu and Willie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
Yes, sir.
yeah, I mean, regardless of what kind of arguments we may have had through the years, I still feel them right there.
And the thing
So,
is,
you know.
Kato, remember, so we did something for Willie with his
Yeah.
Rhythms of Africa.
Of course, of course, of course.
months
So
ago.
it is like you're a family. I
Yeah,
mean, Tony here, you've been with the band now 26 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, so
Longest.
that's more than half the duration.
that's
the
more
journey.
than any other drummer that's ever played for us, sir.
Yeah. There we go.
Longest
Feed the
reigning
pan-
drummer! Longest reigning drummer!
Come on, tell it!
Yeah. Sure she can.
Yeah, man, I'm honored to be, you know.
For real.
And I enjoy every show. We look forward and
Yeah.
trying to better than the last.
You must. It
last
comes
one, so.
across. It comes across as
Yeah.
well. Going on from what you were talking about with writing on tour, it's now 4 years since more work to be done. Have you got any plans for a new
Oh
album?
yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. In fact, we have a 2-album deal with Ghetto Youth, so we're trying to see how we can step into the program. But as you know, I got sick in December.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I never recovered until maybe March. You know, I started to feel better. I still, you know, I had surgery on my stomach, so I still, you know, I'm not very firm on my feet. I have a bad left knee. I have to kind of be very careful and stuff. But, you know, nature allowed me to come back and play my guitar, play my cello, and be here talking to you guys. So I think that's very special, and I thank God every day. And
Just a fair one. For the second time around, it was about a week ago when we were here again. Hard one. It's so good to be embraced by England.
yeah, we definitely plan to get vibrant because this is our 50th anniversary, right?
Yes.
So we have to have a song out. I was hoping maybe we'd have 2 or 3 out, but realistically, how things go, I'd like to get a single at least out. Plus, AJ's finished his album,
Yeah, it was
his
doing-
solo project, and that we were actually looking that would have happened from last year, but you know things, and it's only coming out next month here now. So I mean that's going to be good in a way because in the 50th year we're going to have an album from AJ as well.
It,
You know,
which involves
Yeah,
Sounds
and,
like you are
we are
running
we
on
are
it.
on the album on one number, and not only that, but it features somebody who is now face of us. So you know, it's in a way it's a win-win situation, and for me, you know, I just look forward to when we can come with something else from Damien. It's not very easy, you know, because Damien's busy.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Damien has a lot of other groups producing as well.
I was going to say, so he's
Yeah.
going to produce it as well again.
Yeah, and that takes some time. You have to be able to go in the studio with him. You have to get his attention. You know, he has to be, you know, it's not hard to get Damien. Once he's focused, he's way more focused than I would ever be. And, you know, for somebody at that age to be so brilliant and so on top of his game, like a young Quincy Jones, you know. And, I mean, it's time for us to express something else right now. I agree. It's time now.
Yeah, what about a live album?
A live album is always a possibility, but for me, if the circumstances have to come up, whereby, you know, I don't like when somebody says, you're going to be recorded live tonight, because everybody gets tense and tight and, you know, but I've heard some live recordings where nobody was under pressure and it's absolutely sensational, you know. So I think that's one of the things too, you know, like with the Lyceum thing, Bob, the Rolling Stones lent Chris Blackwell the recording truck, the 24 recording truck that they had. It was a 75, you know. So and they had a truck that recorded.
That's right,
Yeah, with
Exile
a
on
24
Main
track
Street.
inside it. Yeah.
Exile on Main Street was
Yeah.
recorded on that.
So, but there was no pressure on Bob because they were going to record the 2 shows that we did. We did the Friday and the Saturday. So, you know, I mean, there was options. If Roadblock didn't sound that great on the Friday, it probably sounded better on the Saturday or vice versa. So there wasn't really that much stress. But I've seen through the years, you know, when we're assigned to CBS and we have this show and they say, oh, they're going to be recording live tonight and blah, blah, you know, and it's, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I agree, live albums are great. And you know one thing though, Steve, live albums in the days gone by were like recorded stuff, right? And you would put in your CD or whatever. Right now, every day is a live album. You just go on YouTube or what happened last night.
Exactly.
Try brand new Becca with the verse. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Pleasure to meet you guys, and I wish you all the best, all the love from my heart.
Alright, so I'm gonna shot first and then live.
Voila! Aye.
And even walk down, best friend, round the mouth. Above the happiness was mine. Blessed and second drinking wine. But now I'm face to face with me. I don't cry. It's something I changed. I'm a brand new better. Yes, I am. I've changed. Yes, I am. I'm a brand new better. Man, I rich by what you say. I've changed. You want him to go outside. I'm a brand new better. Worn out shoes, I've changed. Brand new socks, worn out shoes. I'm a brand new better. I've changed.
Just want to say as well, Kat, it's always a privilege to catch up with you, old friend. from
Yeah, man,
40
of
years.
course, man.
As I say, you and the band
Yeah,
are far more than reggae ambassadors. You're ambassadors for humanity.
yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Are you still bowling with your handbrakes up?
I don't bowl anymore, Cap. My bowling days are over.
Thanks for coming.
Scribbling.
Steve, thanks for being here with us, man. I miss you so much over the years, and yeah, man. And I'm so glad you're having conversations with all of us. It's really nice, really nice. Beside him is Mr. Richie Barr, sitting in for Richie B. Over here is Mr. Rupert Bates, one of the best. On drums, the one and only, Tony Ruption.
Founding member of Third World is equal Stephen Thorpe.
We call him Bobo Chelly. Mr. Adrian
Sweet dreams of better days. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them will want to use you. Some of them will want to be used by you. Some of them will want to abuse you. Some of them will want to be abused.
Anyway, I see him. Catman!
Gentlemen, absolutely pleasure, all of us.
You know I love you, right?
I love you too, Robert.
Alright.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
very much.
much.
Thank you for everything.
Next
I hope you're
time.
a great
Thank you, we did.
star.